Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, I'm going to be telling you what happens when you change arcade locations in Grand Theft Auto Online that were added in the Diamond Casino heist. So the reason I wanted to figure this out is because obviously the arcades are one of the new properties, but also every business and property that Rockstar introduces is a little bit different. Like sometimes if you were to switch locations, you would lose all the supplies on the inside. Sometimes, various things would happen, like some upgrades wouldn't transfer over. So I wanted to see how a modern 2019-2020 property would function when you ended up changing. So let's get a quick overview right now of what I've got going on inside of my arcade. So currently I am at the Rockford Hills Insert Coin arcade location. My style is Take a Shine. My mural is wireframed, floor intergalactic, neon art LS Knights. I have the high score screens, the personal quarters, and the garage. So I basically have every single upgrade, not to like the maximum because some are just personal preferences, but I have everything you could choose to do. Now, I also have every single arcade game in the arcade unlocked. I have a handful of trophies like the Golden Arcade one and the Madame Nazar one. And I also have $50,000 in my arcade safe. Now, that's going to be important a little bit later on, as we will discover. And you can see now that I am on the Pixel Emporium website, I've earned $120,000. I have unlocked every single machine. I have also unlocked the master control terminal and the drone station. So the reason I'm showing you guys this now is so that we can compare if anything seems to be missing when we end up changing the arcade locations. And another thing I wanted to monitor as well is how would this have an impact on the heist mission? So as it currently stands, I am like a little bit, I'd say maybe like 30% done with the heist. So I've already found out what's in the vault. I've chosen the aggressive approach. I've selected my getaway driver. I've done some of the prep missions. So I'm, again, about 35% through this. And the reason I find this to be interesting is this will allow me to see if I have to restart, if it holds everything and I'm good to go. So with all of that in mind, what we can do now is buy ourselves another location. So I'm just going to choose another spot. I'm going to do Video Get-In in La Mesa. And so other than that, everything is pretty standard. You still can choose the same style, mural, floor art, neon art if you want. What's interesting is once you buy the high score screens, those are stuck in your arcade forever. Like you can't choose the option to get rid of it. And same with the garage. I guess that makes sense if you have cars stored in there. You can't really get rid of them, or they might be put into like limbo. I didn't test this with an empty garage, so I wonder if this would be different with no cars in there, but garage was one that you couldn't actually change. And so I got my grand total right there, and now it was time to buy this property. And when I went to buy it, you guys can see there that I would be trading it in. So because I already own an arcade, I'm not going to be spending exactly $2,736,000. In fact, it's going to cost me a whole lot less than that because I'm going to be saving $1,603,000. And that's what this alert message ends up telling you. And it says, do you want to continue your purchase? So the amount of money I ended up spending was only like $1,133,000. And so once you buy the arcade, it's automatically going to put you outside, and now you can go to the new location. Now, I did get an interesting alert, and again, we'll talk about this in a bit. It told me that my daily arcade take had been added to the office safe, although I was at capacity already. I was at 50,000. Now, that's something I forgot to grab before buying a new arcade, but that's actually kind of a good thing because I wanted to see if it would still carry over. And so now we are going to go to the new arcade location. And again, this was Video Get-In in La Mesa. So we ended up going inside, and everything for the most part is exactly the same, which is great news. That means that all of my arcade games are put in the exact same spot. They're not removed. None of my trophies were removed. The only thing you'll notice that's kind of different is the new logos that are going to appear on the in-game screens. like around the bar and around the Christmas tree area. So that's pretty cool right there. And I also went into the office safe. I was able to confirm that my money was still there, my $50,000, which again, I'll show you something weird that happens with that in a little bit. But we make our way downstairs. Our master control terminal is still there. Our drone station is still there. And our heist progress has also been saved. So that's pretty cool. So essentially, when you change arcade locations, you don't lose any progress on the heist. And that's great because I was kind of worried that might actually happen. Now, really the biggest difference when you're changing arcade locations is the difference in the layout of the building. Some of the buildings are smaller, larger. Some of the buildings have the garages in the front. Some are in the back. So depending on what location you choose, there could be a long walk between the garage and the front door entrance, or it could be a couple of steps. That's something you're really just going to have to adjust for, but stuff like that does have a big impact when you're doing like the preps and the setup missions. So just something to keep in mind right there. Now, another thing I was also unable to confirm in this video because I simply don't have any is if you unlock any of those like plushies from the shiny Wasabi Kitty Claw game, will they stay on your desk? I would imagine they would, but that's something I can't confirm in this video because I've probably spent about an hour on this claw machine at one point and I didn't get anything. So like I'm convinced that I'm just never going to be able to get a prize. I know you can, but I just haven't had the ability to do so. So everything looks to be pretty status quo. Now, I still wanted to check one more time just to make sure. So what I ended up doing this time was getting Pistol Pete's arcade, like all the way in Paleto Bay. Like I wanted to see if the ones up there were any different. And the only other weird thing I noticed here is when I purchased this arcade, it said that my take in the office safe had skyrocketed back up to $50,000. And you guys just saw that about a minute or two ago, I had just cleared it out. And we know that it's $5,000 every 48 minutes, which means there's no way it would have gotten to $50,000. So maybe you guys can help me explain this a little bit better. Maybe you think this is a glitch or a bug, or maybe the game doesn't understand that I'm switching arcade locations, or maybe when you switch arcade locations, it automatically fills it back up. But that was weird right there, that I kept getting a full safe, even though I had like literally just cleaned it out. But anyways, as far as what happens at Pixel Pete's goes, there's also nothing different here. Again, whether you buy the cheapest one or the most expensive one, you don't get any more space on the inside. There's only some minor cosmetic changes, and then obviously what you see on the outside of the building. I still don't know what was going on with the fact that I was getting like an extra $50,000, but I don't think it was anything all that significant to worry about. In fact, I was so curious about this happening that I actually changed again for two reasons. Number one, I really didn't want to stay up in Paleto Bay and be at Pixel Pete's arcade. That's really not a great location. And number two, I wanted to see if I would get that $50,000 again. And sure enough, when I ended up switching to another one, the second I got outside, it told me that my arcade take had been back up to 50 grand. So again, I don't really know what's going on here. I would assume it's just a glitch or a bug, but you guys can see now that's like 3 times in the span of like 5 minutes in which I've actually gotten the $50,000. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, ooh, that's a cool way to get 50 grand. Well, yeah, but you also have to buy a new arcade each time. So it's not really anything that you would do to make a profit. To me, it's just something that's kind of interesting. So bottom line, what happens when you end up changing your arcade property in Grand Theft Auto Online? The answer is nothing really all that negative occurs. And that's really good news. Because in some other properties, like in the bunker and in the hangar, there are some effects that will occur if you do end up changing your locations. And sometimes you can't even change your locations if you have items such as vehicles or goods on the inside. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Which arcade location do you have and which one do you think is the best? I know that wasn't really the point of this video, but since we are talking about locations, I was kind of curious to see what you think. I've been using the 8-bit one and also the insert coin one. They're kind of in the middle of the city near some of my other things, so that's why I decided to put them there. I didn't really want to bother with the ones that were super far away, and Videogeddon is kind of like this big old warehouse, and I didn't really love the look of that. So again, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking down there and more. If you guys did go to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and Red Dead Redemption videos that I'm doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll automatically be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.